Mokele Mbembe.
Welcome to Damn Weird. And in this, I'm going to attempt to organize my collective thoughts on various unusual events and things and people that have occurred and things I've studied. Just a way to organize them here onto YouTube for me. Now, we're going to start with some of the easier things, simply because we need kind of a foundation for our studies, for something to look at. These are things that maybe shouldn't exist, but do.
Mokele Mbembe means one who stops the flow of the rivers. The legendary water-dwelling creature of the Congo River Basin in folklore is sometimes described as a living creature, sometimes as a spirit, and loosely analogous to the Loch Ness monster of Western culture. It is claimed to be a theropod by some cryptozoologists. Expeditions mounted in the hope of finding evidence of Mokele Mbembe have failed, and the subject has been covered in a number of books and by a number of television documentaries, including Skeptics Robert C. Carroll's report of the Mokele Mbembe, have been circulating for the past 200 years. Yet no one has photographed the creature or produced any physical evidence of its existence. Mokele Mbembe and its associated folklore also appear in several works of fiction and popular culture. Mokele Mbembe supposedly resembles an apatosaurus, which lived more than 65 million years ago. Everyone's pretty much knows by now that dinosaurs died quite a while back. In fact, more than 65 million years ago, give or take. Massive, powerful, and awe-inspiring, they have been popular for years, appearing in countless books, movies, and dolls. But what if they still existed? The idea of a still living dinosaur has captured the public's imagination for well over a century. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's creator of Sherlock Holmes published a 1912 book called The Lost World, set in a remote Venezuelan jungle where dinosaurs still survive to modern times. Dino revival films and books such as Jurassic Park were inspired by Conan Doyle's work. In fact, the sequel to Jurassic Park was titled The Lost World. That was fiction. But some people believe that some dinosaurs still linger in hiding until present time in the remote jungles of Central Africa, especially in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The region is the reputed home of the Mokele Mbembe, an amphibian dinosaur-like creature said to be up to 35 feet long, with brownish-gray skin and a long, flexible neck. According to legends, it lives in caves, it digs in the riverbanks, and feeds on the elephants, hippos, and crocodiles. While dinosaurs have intrigued people all over the world, Central Africa is unique in that it is the only place where many people really believe that they still exist. Daniel Laxton and Donald Prothero, authors of Abominable Science, Origins of the Yeti, Nessie, and other famous cryptids, researched the Mokele Mbembe in depth. They note that though the rumors of this enormous beast in the Congo region date back to at least the 16th century, the idea of an elusive African dinosaur, still like animal, seems to have developed only after the discovery in the 19th century of a fossil dinosaur. In other words, Africa, like all inhabited continents and oceans in the centuries past, was associated with legends and rumors of unknown monsters that lurked within the threat to unwary travelers. But the idea of a dinosaur-like animal named Mokele Mbembe is a 20th century creation. The origin of Mokele Mbembe can be traced back to a book in 1909, a book titled Beasts and Men, by a showman and zoologist named Carl Hagenbeck. In that book, Hagenbeck, musing on a recent discovery of dinosaur bones, speculated that theropods might still be alive in the deepest Africa. He offered no evidence aside from legends and rumors, but the sensational claims quickly picked up and were circulated by the press. For example, a Washington Post story from 1910 announced the Brontosaurus still lives. That publicity, according to Laxton and Prothero, launched what would become the modern cryptozoological legend of Mokele Mbembe. Thus, the reports and legends of the African monster, they conclude, are not the result of any hard evidence or genuine first-hand stories or native encounters of the beast, but instead a distillation of many creatively varied stories from widely separated regions. Stories and legends are fine, but they are not scientific evidence. The fact that there is no real evidence for the creature's existence is not deterred people from looking for it, however. In the book Cryptozoology A to Z, Warren Coleman and Jerome Clark note numerous expeditions have been mounted in search of Mokele Mbembe in 1980 and 81. Monster hunter and retired University of Chicago biologist Roy Mackal headed explorations into the Iguana L region of the Congo, reported to be hotspot of dinosaur sightings. Though Mackal never saw the creature or found any evidence of its existence, he did gather more native stories and legends about it. Another expedition was launched by a Japanese film crew in 1992 and resulted in what has been called the best evidence for Mokele Mbembe. Aerial footage of some shape boarding water in a lake. Fortunately, it was ambiguous. What some saw as the head of a living dinosaur, others saw as a crocodile, elephant, or even men in a canoe. More recently, last May, a young Missouri man named Stephen McCulloch placed a pitch on Kickstarters.com asking for $27,000 in donations so he and his friends could launch a 3-month 4-member expedition to the Republic of Congo in search for the Mokele Mbembe and other new species. Though the team members largely lacked experience in the jungle or formal education in biology or zoology, McCulloch told LiveScience.com, "We don't necessarily expect to find concrete evidence of the Mokele Mbembe on the first expedition, but we believe there's a good chance during the initial 3 months that we will find hard evidence of its presence in the area." According to an October 13, 2000 update on the Delphi News website, the NEMAC expedition to find Mokele Mbembe failed almost immediately, and the members returned home without success, having spent nearly $30,000 of donated funds. In all, there have been more than 24 searches for the living dinosaur. Over the years, still evidence for the Mokele Mbembe remain elusive. There are no photographs or films of the creature, no bones or teeth. No evidence beyond stories and anecdotes. The modern world of Google Earth and ubiquitous cameras and cell phones, it is highly unlikely that dozens or hundreds of dinosaurs, there can't just be one, that's less than 65 million years old, exists, but have somehow never been photographed or even found dead. It's strange that as advanced and more cameras become available to capture the world around us, we also create all the tools and technology to falsify the evidence as well. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Photos won't convince anyone these days.